Lovelies, I'm hoping my camera stays where it is. Today I'm going to do some quilling. It's been something I've been asked to do for a while, so thought, well, today I'll show you. Now I'm just using some basic stuff that I got from the Easy Whim subscription box, but I'm not following their idea. That was what they offered. They asked, suggested we do, but I'm going to show you two different types of flower. One similar to that, I've copied that, and then another daffodil. But I'm only using the stuff that was in the Easy Whim bag, because my stuff's in a big chest upstairs, and the way they've put the chest, I can't actually get into it. So I'm going to have to ask them to move the chest so that I can get into it. So what I'm going to show you how to make today are two different flowers, very similar, very simple. The first one is this, which is a daffodil. It has a green bulbous back. Then you've got the little trumpet centre and the petals around the outside. Now the petals were done in a two-tone, but I've run out of the different colours. So some of the petals are going to be two-tone, some of them are going to be all the one colour. And the centre is going to have two tones, but it's going to be slightly green in the middle. And then the green back, we'll show you how to do that. Okay, it's quite solid because you need to use a lot of glue with this one. So that's that one. I'm also going to show you how to do this one. We're going to do it with only 5 leaves though, because that's all the stuff I've got left to use. And it may not be quite the same shape as this, but we'll try for something similar. And then with a little centre on it. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'll show you the first petal for the daffodil. I've done 3 of the petals already, so we've got 2 petals to do. So basically you've got your tool here, and in that tool, I don't know whether you can see, but in the tool is a slight split, and what we're doing is we're inserting that paper into the slit of this tool, and then we're just going to turn it like that. Now what I find easy is to just turn it in my fingers like so, to keep it even together. I don't know. So you're just twisting the tool and keeping it together in your fingers, and you keep doing that until you get to the end. Now when I get to the end, you can do one of 2 things, and if you're just beginning, the best thing to do is just glue another section onto the end of there. But I got sick of glue, and I do it that way, where you add a little bit in. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this 3 times for this one. We're going to add 3 lengths. Right, once we get to near the end, we take it off, and then we're going to just let it go ever so slightly. Whoops, that was too much. I'll just pull that a bit. We only want it to be about that. Maybe it's even a bit tighter than that. And then if that happens, you just pull it tight, and then just by hand turn it back around the what you can do is use a tool so that each petal is the same length, or the same circle, which is this, something like this. And what you would do, you would put it inside there and it would open up as far as that, but then I find it's difficult to get them out of there, so I much prefer it doing by eye. And nature isn't perfect, is it? Well, it is perfect, but it's not. Every petal isn't exactly the same as the other one. There is differences. So when you get to the end and you've opened it up as far as you want it to go, you then glue. A little bit of glue on the end of there. Now these little things I got from Wish, and I'm using extra sticky glue. And then what you do, you can make them slight marquees. So you pinch it at one end and then pinch it at the other, and you can move this centerpiece wherever you want it. You can move it down over, you can move it up. Well, I'm going to keep it to the top and leave it like that, and then we've got another petal. So I'll show you again. You put it into the slit, spin it round, oops, don't worry about that, spin it round, hold it in your hands. I'll show you the next one what else you can use. There is another tool to make this easier, but you spin it in your hands until you get to the end, near the end, then add a piece. And that was a short piece, I think. I'm just adding it, and that's the rest of it. Until you add 3 pieces or 3 lengths. Get to the end, pull it off the pipe, open it up slightly so you get it to where you want it. Then once you've done that, you want to glue the end. Now it's pointless gluing the end beforehand, because if you glue the end before you've let it go, then before you got it to the size you want, it just stays at the other size. It stays at a tight circle. So you need to glue it after you've made the length. So there's your 5 petals, because I did 3 earlier, because I didn't think you'd want me to see that. So then what we've got to do is we've got to glue them together. So all we do is put a little bit of glue on the side like that and add the next petal. We do that all the way around. Keep adding the next, keep adding the next petal. You might want to find you put it down on the and then one on that side and one on that side, and we stick that in, and we're putting it the pointy side forward, the pointiest side. And once we've got the petals, we're squashing them together so that they form a nice tight centre. Once you've done that, you want to put a bit of glue around the centre of that, like that, and also you want to glue the flowers. Just put a bit of glue across the middles of the flowers, like so, and then just rub it with your fingers. And what that does is just keeps the paper in place as to where it is. Put a little bit more glue on if you need it, and then leave it to dry for a little bit. Now whilst it's drying, we're going to do the back. And to do the back, we're just going to use 2 pieces of a thicker length. This is about centimetre length. You can use the same tool. They do come in various different sizes, but I tend to use just the same tool for all of them. You just slip it in and then do the same again. see what I'm doing. Now this time we're going to glue that tight. So we're going to put a bit of glue on the end, and then we're going to do that. And hold that like that. Then we're going to get the end of our tool. There is other things you can use, but I haven't got it, as I say, I can't get into my craft. We can get a tray with different size lumps in it and you can push it down, but they don't need that for this. We just need to put it in our tool like that. So you push it down to where you want it, which is just about there. We've only got 5 petals, and then what you do is you put your glue in and you cover that with glue. You cover that with glue and you do the same with the outside, and that ensures that that stays the same where you want it. Just put enough glue on there, and then the same with the centre. You can use the end of your tool just to spread it around a bit and make sure it's where it is, and then you leave that again to dry. So that's the back of the flower. We're now going to do the centre of the flower, and this time we're going to use greens. So I've got 2 colours of greens, and we're going to use both of these. So again, we use our tool. What I'll do is I'll show you another way. You can slip your tool on there, put your green on there, and then turn it, and it's supposed to help keep, and then you put that there, and it's supposed to help keep it straight. I find it just gets in the way, so I tend not to use it. I use my fingers, and it also is a gauge to tell you how big you want your circle. So it goes in ½ centimetre increments. So if you want a circle 2 centimetres, then you've got a guide there to tell you when you've got to that size. I tend to do everything by sight because I'm lazy in some respects. In others, I find it much easier to do it that way. And at the end of the day, it's a craft, it's quilling. It's not, you don't need to have an exact science. Again, we're going to do it the same way as we did the back. We're going to tie it off tight. And we're going to do exactly the same again, but into a trumpet shape. So we're going to press it round there until we get a nice, with the two-tone coming through like that. And then again, we're going to put the glue on. Like that. And then again round the back. Rub it in a little bit. Use your tool to make sure it's all around this one. And then put that again to one side to dry. Right, well, whilst that's drying, I'll show you the other one. So this one, what we're doing is we're using a single length, and we do 2 petals and join them together. So we're doing this one, as I say, single length, just about 1/4 millimetre thickness I'm using, and then you let it go. Oops, too far. Oh dear, that's gone wrong, so we'll start again. So if that happens, you just need to twirl it. I think it's because I had a little bit of glue on my hands. It got a bit stuck. So again, we're just curling it with our curling tool till we get to the end. Take it off, open it up just a touch. So we're going to get to about there, and then we're going to glue the end in. Like that, and then we're going to make mark C out of it, like so. And we can do these in different sizes, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. That was quite a small petal that we did, so we can do a slightly bigger one this time. And again, we're going to do the same, just use the curling tool on the small length, slip it in, and then when we get to the end, take it off the tool, just let it loosen slightly in your hand. That'll do. Use a little bit more, make it a little bit bigger. Then glue the end to where it needs to go. So you glue the end and you're making a marquise out of it, so you just squash on either side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to glue those two together. You don't have to glue them, but if you knew it might be worthwhile just gluing those together and that'll keep them secure for you while you're busy doing the next bit. Because what we're going to do is we're going to wrap them. Now I'm using a slightly thicker width, basically because I have run out of the smaller width, but you can use a slightly bigger width, it's not matter, it just stands out a little bit more. So then what we're going to do is we're going to wrap these in that, but we're going to go between the petals to give it a distinctive shape. So we're going to push that through there. So you need a little bit of glue in the center. You push your thing into the glue and then you go around the outside. And we're just going to keep doing that, and at each section you need to put a little bit of glue in there. And I do have my trusty tool somewhere, or I did have. You can use this just to push it into the glue, or a pointer tool is ideal. I don't know where, I had my pointer tool out, but I don't know where it's gone, I must have dropped it. So you just keep doing that. Whoops. You just keep doing that until you have it all wrapped up. A little bit of glue, put it in, wrap it round, a little bit of glue, put it in, whoops, wrap it round, a little bit of glue, pop it in, wrap it round, a little bit of glue, pop it in and wrap it. And when we get to the end, you just put a little bit of glue on the end and finish it off. And then we just want to squeeze it and make sure all those ends are tucked in, and then that's the petals done. So as I say, I've got 4 here that I did, and we're going to just glue them together the same as we did with the last one. So again, just stick them on the floor, they're easier to, on the bench, they're easier to glue and position. And then once we've got them all in place, we just want to glue them in together, so push them in together like so. Once they've started to stick, we put a little bit of glue on the centre like that, and then we do the same as what we did with the last one and just put a little bit of glue across that to keep the if it pops out like it's just done there, I don't think you can see that, just popped out there, just put a little bit more glue in and push it in. And then again, oh, it's keeping popping out, that one. And then again, just rub the glue into the petals, and that ensures that they just stay together and they're not going to pop out. You can use a brush if you want to, I'll just use my fingers usually. It's popped again. Right, what I'm going to do, as that's come out, I'm going to put a little bit of glue all petals done. We need to do the centerpiece, which is basically exactly the same as what we did with the daffodil. So what we want to do is we're going to get we're going to get 2 strands of light and a strand of dark, and we're going to put the light in first. So we're going to swirl it like that, like we've been doing with all of them. You can either glue it or do the same as I do and thread it in like that. You can see when I get near the end, what I do is I just thread through that and then curl it in. This is a lighter, slightly thinner, because I've run out of the same thickness. So we just glue the end like we've done all of them, but we don't loosen this one, we keep this one nice and tight, and that forms our centre piece. That forms our centerpiece. Okay, so what we're going to do now, that's nice, dried, nice and tight, we're just going to put a splodge of glue around the centre and stick that on the centre. Actually, what we should do is flip that over, actually, because that's the back. Where we put the glue is the back. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue in the centre of there and put that on the middle. And then all the glue is at the underside. What I'm going to do is I've left a bit, I'm just going to leave my pokey tool in there just to keep that stuck down, because it doesn't seem to be wanting to stick for some reason. while we put the daffodil together. So that's the original daffodil there, as you can see, and this is how we put it together. So we've got our backing and we've got our daffodil there. So what we're going to do is we're going to find it right side up and we're going to balance it over the top of that, centre of that. No, we're going to put some glue in first. We'll put some more glue in there around the edge, just around the top edge. We're going to put our on the top like that. Oops. Hold it in place, and then we're going to get our trusty tool, this one here, and we're just going to push it in to that, and we're going to hold that for a few minutes while it gets pushed in there. And then we're going to put some more glue around there. We're going to get our centerpiece and put that in there like that, and we're going to get back into our tool and push back down some more. And that's your daffodil. The back's a little bit too thick really. We should maybe have used a thinner paper. But that's basically our daffodil. That was the one I did earlier. That was the one I did earlier, and that's the one we've done today. Now then, we've got this flower. It's all nice and glued tight. So that was the original. And we've just done the same in a slightly different colour. We've only used 5 petals instead of 6. So all you do is let those dry and harden. And then you can add something to put them towards. You could add them on a card, or you could give them stalks, leaves, and I'll show you maybe how to do the leaves and the stalks in the next video. So that's all I wanted to show you today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed joining me in making these lovely little flowers, and if you've been before, thank you so much for watching again. I hope you've enjoyed this video, something a little bit different. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, please think about joining our crafty community, hitting the like button and the bell to be notified whenever I do a video. If you are new to the channel, if you've been before, thank you very much for putting up with me. Please hit the like button, and on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. Please remember to pass on a smile if you get the opportunity to, an extra special one with your eyes at the moment, and we're going to love you and leave you. Bye guys.